Section 1. The Ultimate What If. Every truly great story starts with a question, right? A mystery that just completely captures our imagination. And right now, in the world of modern athletics, there is this one massive question dominating conversations, from local pitches all the way to global sports media. What if the greatest footballer did it one more time? The sheer weight of that is just staggering. I really want you to picture this with me. The year is 2026. Imagine a sun-soaked stadium packed to the brim with 100,000 screaming fans. The anticipation is just deafening. And walking out onto that pitch is Lionel Messi. But he isn't the young prodigy anymore. He's 38 years old. He's the guy who already has absolutely everything. The man who has literally won it all. And yet, here he is, again, stepping out onto the ultimate global stage. And honestly, that perfectly illustrates the main point here. This is not just a football story. Let that sink in for a second. It's so easy for us to get totally caught up in the goals, the assists, the shiny trophies. But the crucial takeaway is that when we talk about a player returning to the world stage at 38 years old, having already completely conquered the sport, we're talking about pure human endurance. We're talking about passion, incredible resilience, and just a flat-out obsession with the craft. This is, without a doubt, one of the greatest human stories ever told through sport. Section 2. The Qatar 2022 Climax. Now, to truly understand the absolute magnitude of what 2026 represents, we kind of have to rewind back to the emotional and dramatic peak of his entire career, Qatar 2022. The ultimate prize finally secured at age 35. Messi had been chasing that World Cup for his entire professional life. I mean, for years, the pressure on him was just unimaginable. By the time he hit 35, we all knew this was it. This was his last realistic shot, and the entire football world literally held its breath for 4 weeks straight. We watched this 35-year-old athlete completely shoulder the hopes of a nation, and honestly, the hopes of football fans everywhere who just wanted to see a legendary career get that perfect storybook ending. And man, that brings us to the climax of that 2022 final. It was probably the most dramatic conclusion in World Cup history. A breathtaking back-and-forth victory against France that went right down to the wire, ultimately decided on penalty kicks. When Messi finally lifted that trophy, the emotional release was just unlike anything we've ever seen. Grown men cried. Entire cities completely stopped. It was the exact moment the sport had been waiting decades for, a perfectly wrapped gift to the footballing world. Which leads us to a pretty stark reality. Most athletes would retire right there, frozen at the absolute peak. Think about it. You've just won the hardest tournament in the world, in the most dramatic fashion humanly possible, cementing your legacy forever. The logical, normal expectation for any athlete is to just walk away, totally untouchable. But Messi? He kept playing. He made the legendary decision to just keep going, completely rewriting what we expect from athletes in the twilight of their careers. Section 3. A 3-decade legacy. Mapping out this unprecedented timeline is really the only way to truly wrap our heads around it, because it perfectly illustrates his legendary endurance. Back in the 2000s, we see him first emerging onto the global stage, right? A young phenomenon just capturing the world's attention. Then, we flow seamlessly into the 2010s, where he is actively defining a whole generation, breaking records left and right, and becoming the undisputed face of modern football. And now, the 2020s, the Qatar climax, and this ongoing, unbelievable journey. We are literally witnessing a player adapt, evolve, and remain at the absolute pinnacle of a brutally physically demanding sport across 3 entirely distinct eras. 3. That number represents everything here. 3 different decades of an unprecedented journey. Staying relevant for just 1 decade in elite sports is a massive triumph. 2 is historic. But 3? Operating at a championship level across 3 decades almost defies the biology of athletic performance. It is a massive testament to his unmatched footballing IQ and just a pure, sheer love for the game. Section 4. The 2026 Odyssey. Okay, so this is where the momentum really escalates. We've established the past and the present, but now we've got to look ahead to the monumental scale of his potential return. Because 2026 is coming. And guys, it will be the biggest World Cup in history, hosted across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. We are talking about 48 competing teams, 16 massive host cities, billions of global viewers tuning in from all over the planet. The stage is going to be larger, louder, and way more expansive than any tournament we have ever seen. It's a massive, continent-spanning event. And set against the backdrop of that massive, sprawling tournament is this number, 38. The biggest tournament in human history, and a player who will be 38 years old. The physical impossibility of this Odyssey is honestly what makes it so gripping. Every single football fan on earth is quietly asking themselves the exact same question. Will he actually be there? Can a 38-year-old body withstand the brutal rigors of the most expansive World Cup ever created? So the crucial point here, the thing that makes this truly extraordinary, is the potential for a back-to-back victory in consecutive tournaments, spanning across 3 decades. If Messi plays in 2026, he'll be the first player in history to potentially achieve this. That sentence alone should just stop you in your tracks. It is literal history-making potential. No Hollywood scriptwriter could write this better. It's a narrative so perfect, so incredibly ambitious, that if Lionel Messi steps onto that 2026 World Cup stage, football will absolutely never see anything like it again. Watch this space. Watch Argentina. Watch number 10. Which leaves us with a final, awe-inspiring question for you. Do you think Messi plays in 2026? After seeing the timeline, understanding the physical toll, and really grasping the sheer historic weight of a 3-decade Odyssey, what do you actually believe will happen? I'm super curious to hear your thoughts on this, so until next time.